What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Book is entitled Lessons from a Non-Custodial Father at Amazon, Kindle, and Create Space. Link will be in the description box below as usual. Go get it. PayPal link that also asked me to put it up, so I put it up. Thanks everybody for supporting. This video is entitled Don't Be a Bad Boy Swagger Jacker. Now we talk about quote unquote bad boys, Pookies and Ray Rays, the thugs. Some people, they get all the women. But let's flip this around. Some of you guys are Pookie and Ray Ray, thug and bad boy swagger jackers. You're looking how they carry themselves and how they dress and how they act. And what you're doing is you're trying to emulate them when that's not in you. And then you're mad because you're not getting the same response or the same reaction and the same amount of women as them, right? And sometimes just by imitating, you are getting the women. But then you're mad at the women because they don't like the real you, but you never presented the real you. So if you're a guy who's a bad boy swagger jacker, you have no reason to complain. If you decided you wanted to get tatted up like a bad boy, but we can tell, that's not really not you, and now you don't like how it ends, that's your problem. If you took on a certain image because you felt like it would get you women faster, and it's not really who you are as a person, that's your problem. It's not nobody else's problem. Because you wanted to be a swagger jacker. If you felt like you was going to talk to women a certain way because you felt like that works, but but all of a sudden you're mad that it works, and you're mad at that it works on the women that you want, and you wish you didn't have to talk and treat women the way you do, and then you're bothered by that, that's your problem because you chose that path. Nobody else did. So this is what I mean by, a bad boy. Don't be a bad boy swagger jacker. Because there comes a point where you're mad that you're either getting the response that you were looking for, or you're mad that you traded your integrity for attention. But whose fault? Who's at fault for that, right? Now, when it comes to, I want to look like this in my personal life, but I want to look like this in my social life. So you want to play that game. And then somebody who's just like that for real comes along, and guess what? It's a problem. Or, sometimes I've seen people who be bad boy swagger jackers, and then the girl isn't attracted to necessarily the bad boy or necessarily the bad boy swag. She's just attracted to the person being true to themselves and authentic. And they meet somebody who's authentic, who is not quote unquote under the bad boy mantra, and now you got a problem because you feel like if you would have been real like that, you wouldn't have got her. Well, now if you would have been real, you probably would have. Excuse me. So now you mad. Don't be mad at nobody else but you. Or what happens when you take on the image and the image brings you everything that image itself brings. So now you put out a certain image and it gives off a certain energy, and now you're getting that energy, but you just wanted the women. So now you're caught in the mix because you didn't intend to get all of the negative, the cons that went with the image. And now you want to be mad at somebody. You can't. Because if you would have took on a different image, you probably wouldn't have had that issue. But That happens to some folks, right? Now, the issue that I have with the, don't have a gripe with the quote unquote bad boys, the cads, the Pookie and the Ray Ray, when you're just diet bad boy, diet cad, diet Pookie and Ray Ray. You're the diet version, because you're not setting apart. You're not a contrast to that. You're just a bastardized version of that template. So are you mad that they can fulfill that template better than you can? Which I see a problem with. Excuse me, I'm sorry. It's been a long day. So now we're in this situation where some of you guys are if you can't beat them, then join them. But you can't really join them because that ain't in you. So now you're at this crossroads where, you're not being your best you because you're being a low budget somebody else. And they're not supposed to, but they supposed to love you. Nah, they're not. Now, this is where it gets interesting to me, right? Well, what happens when you're mad at the people that you're with? Because when you took on this persona, you look at their integrity and morals as beneath yours, but this is who you're attracted to using this persona. So you mad at them because if I was just being a real me, you wouldn't like me. I gotta act like this just for you to give me to pay me any mind. This is what you really like? Well, I understand how you mentally can, say that person is beneath you, but at the same time, can you mentally say, this is what I'm doing? This is who I made myself to get this person. What am I doing? Like, I'm fake. I'm not being real right now. Now I don't want to get no tattoos. That ain't me. Now I don't want to grow this beard out because it's popular. That ain't me. Now I don't want to take on that persona. That ain't me. For people, I'm comfortable with me. I'm so comfortable with me, and I'm going to bet on me my way that I think I'm going to win in the end. Forget conforming to the bad boy image to get somebody to quote unquote pay me some attention. I'm going to be me. And I'll stand on that. But that's not what happens for this particular demographic of guys. You see people out, dressed a certain way, and you're looking at them like, that's not you. You see people holding on a certain image, and you're like, you're not built like that. You see people taking on certain characteristics and traits, and you're like, that's very unnatural to who you are, because your inner being is at conflict with this. That's why it doesn't come off right. The energy is just all off. But because the women are not being honest and they're being fake, and the guys are not being honest and they're being fake, they wind up attracting each other because, birds of a feather flock together. It's the facade that's attracting each other, because they're both looking for an image in another person. They're both looking for, how can I say this? A fantasy that both can make come true, even though they aren't built for the fantasy. They just want to interject themselves in the fantasy and feel like they could live that life if they choose to when they can. So Don't swagger jack the bad boy. So I'm done. Like, share, subscribe. Catch you on the next one. Peace.